Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the digital asset investor, and my heat went out in my house, and so I had the people over yesterday to come out and fix it, and they said because of the supply delays that it could be a few days to 2 weeks before I can get my heat turned on. So if you hear a heater in the background, it's because you do. I've got one of those little space heaters that I bought, so I'm actually not cold at all. It's pretty warm with this thing. In fact, this is what I use down at my hunt camp. I use the same kind of heater, so I'm used to it. The digital asset investor is a survivor. Okay, Eleanor Terrett, who is Fox Business, works with Charles Gasparino. She put this tweet out this morning. Noticed the SEC hasn't issued Gary Gensler's monthly public calendar since August. Now, I showed you maybe a week or two ago, that Gary Gensler has been in phone calls with George Soros, but he can't even respond to 60,000 plus XRP holders that he claims to care so much about and trying to protect, while he sues Ripple and hurts our XRP investment. Okay, so I retweeted her tweet, and I said, well, last time he had a call with George Soros and we showed it, he's probably meeting with Darth Vader and the Emperor now and doesn't want us to know about it. That's about where we're at in the United States of America at this point. We have bureaucrats and politicians that they could give a rat's behind about representing the people. And I believe at some point the people are going to rise up as a result of this. That, history shows that at some point you step on the people enough, and at some point you're going to face a consequence of some kind, and they're gonna whether it's voting you out or whatever. This will not stand one way or another. Whether it's Gary Gensler having to resign in shame or something, you can't just ignore the people who you're supposed to represent. That is not the country I grew up in, and it's not the country I want my kids to grow up in. Now, so Charles Gasparino tweeted this out. Need a good workout before diving into Eleanor Terrett's upcoming investigation of XRP. And I retweeted it with this because I can't even imagine, because Eleanor Terrett said that she's trying to get comments from all the people that are covered in this story. And so I can only imagine the people that have nothing to say, or if they do say anything, we are going to rip it to shreds because we have the truth on our side and we know exactly what happened. Okay? Then after his tweet, she comes in and says, it's coming. It's coming. So strap in, folks. I'm hoping that today we'll be able to go over this thing. All right, I put this video together this morning because it needed to be done, and I said, does anyone really know that Ethereum is decentralized without an audit of consensus, the Ethereum Foundation, etc.? Who are those whales that wanted to hide their identities, and Joseph Lubin was helping them do it?
How do you go about managing your treasury within consensus and your own personal one?
I guess no comment. We personally, in terms of consensus, we are a small fraction of the Ethereum asset and all the assets on the Ethereum platform, and we manage our treasury like a company would manage its treasury.
The only interjection I have here is I find it interesting that Ripple is attacked for being transparent. Because we are very proactive, and we put actually the next XRP markets report, which we do quarterly, will come out sometime into this week. But because we share that information, then we're attacked for it, yet other platforms don't share that information, and so they are insulated from those same critiques and criticisms. I think in the dictionary that's called hypocrisy. I'm not 100% sure, but it's close.
If a person can buy from any number of different identities, we may limit the size, the unit size of a sale, just to make it easier to disguise. Let's say if you're a whale and you want some privacy, you can buy 50,000 units and just so nobody scares people with an enormous initial purchase. So if you are a whale, if you want to plan on investing several million US dollars worth, then you can do that for multiple identities.
Is there any plan for greater transparency within Consensus in terms of how it deploys its Ethereum?
Internally, sure. And we're a private company, and we
Ripple's a private company too.
Absolutely. And transparency is important to us, but we also have to be strategic about information that we release.
I like the part where he says, are you planning on being more transparent? And Joseph Lubin says, internally, yes. What does that even mean? You're going to be transparent internally inside of the company. In other words, I can see it on my computer, but I'm going to be transparent between myself and my computer screen. Yeah. I'm sorry to cuss, but what a shit show this is. Gary Gensler, if you're listening to me, what a shit show you're in the middle of, and it's all because you don't have the truth on your side. This is one big fat lie, and you all know it. All right, next, let's look at, this is Summit Tokyo. This is Steven Narioff, who literally helped them create the word games so that they could get away with doing the Ethereum pre-sale. Listen to this.
We raised $18 million, and that was over a month, and we did a 5x more than the next closest crowd sale. I mean, we were on like top of the world.
Right.
There was another crowd sale that another company that I'm a part of called Bancor, and we raised $150 million, and that was also 5x.
Right.
So I mean, but by that time, as opposed to the earlier days, we were really raising money and calculating what we needed for use of proceeds. You know, it was very traditional VC. It was like, how much money did we need?
Right.
How long did we think it was going to take to build the product? We were not thinking about, we're going to get this Bitcoin, and this Bitcoin is going to go up. In fact, what happened was it dropped in half right away. We got it at 500, it dropped to 250.
Right.
So we basically, anybody tells me they need $100 million in an ICO, I kind of laugh, because Ethereum was built on $9 million.
Right.
So it's hard to fathom that you need more than that. And the whole protocol was built, and Ether was issued. And importantly, unlike today, where Patrick was saying earlier, where you get this discount and you get the token right away, and there wasn't immediate gratification back then. We took the money in, and we built the technical team built out the protocol, and the Ether wasn't issued until the protocol was actually working.
That's right.
And it was actually functional. And you could, at a minimum, you could send Ether, using gas.
Right.
So that was a big change. And today, the concept of was really looking at it as like a seed A round, as opposed to today when I talk to so many people and they want to do their seed A, B, C, D, and go IPO all in their ICO. And it's like, well, no, hold on a second. First raise what you need to raise here, prove out your product. And, there's going to, in my opinion, be a wave of secondary ICOs.
Okay, so that's Steven Narioff, and here he is again. Listen to this. Why they didn't take venture capital money, why should they do that if they can do an ICO?
When you guys were raising money for the Ethereum crowd sale, did you approach VCs?
Yes. In fact, the strategy was very much, we knew that we could raise a certain. We were confident. I shouldn't say we knew. Something really important is that there was a big team that went all around the world. There were 50 meetup groups by the time this crowd sale started. So we spent a long time really planting the seeds all over the place. So we got 2 offers from 2 of the largest Silicon Valley venture funds.
Well, one point on that, I wonder if those 2 large venture capital funds could have been, I have no idea, I wonder if they could have been Andreessen Horowitz and Union Square Ventures. And you know why I wonder? Because those are the 2 venture capital firms that eventually led the venture capital working group to get the Ethereum free pass. I wonder if those 2, because since they didn't take the VC money from those 2, I wonder if those 2 firms, once they knew about Ethereum, were involved in buying Ethereum in the pre-sale. But this is part of the reason we should know who these whales are that were buying Ethereum, and Joseph Lubin was helping these whales hide their large purchases. And I'm not saying that Union Square Ventures and Andreessen Horowitz were involved in hiding anything, and I'm not even saying that they were involved in buying any. But you have to wonder if 2 venture capital firms offered these guys money, and then these guys didn't take the money and they went off and did the Ethereum pre-sale, did they let those 2 venture capital firms participate in buying Ethereum at the Ethereum pre-sale? That's a real good question right there.
A very, very high valuation, triple-digit $1 million valuation.
Wow.
And just about the amount of money that we ended up raising. But at the end of the day, speaking of this particular topic, the general feeling was amongst the founders that they wanted to be much more autonomous. They did not want to be under the finger of a venture capitalist. They did not want them to be told what they needed to do. They had a vision. They wanted to execute upon that vision. There's a lot of disagreement within the ranks, but at least it was within the ranks that they got to make that decision. They didn't want some Silicon Valley firm several thousand miles away telling them that no, you need to build Ether like this, or you need to put this programming language in or that programming language.
So I'm going to retweet that. Let's do it right now. If 2 major VCs offered Ethereum money before the Ethereum ICO and it was turned down, did those major VC firms invest in the Ethereum ICO? This should be looked into. There you go. That's how a tweet's done. All right. Now I want you to see this. This guy right here on the right is Joseph Cutler, partner at Perkins Coie. He's one of their people in their blockchain division. Remember, Perkins Coie, that's Lowell Ness. Lowell Ness of Perkins Coie is the one that said he wrote the Safe Harbor memo. And that's the memo. He said that's the memo that pretty much became the Bill Hinman Ethereum Free Pass speech. Listen to what this guy has to say.
You've seen Chairman Clayton go from everything I've ever seen looks like a security to I accept mutability. That is a massive seismic shift. And it was the result of, applied.
And of course, when he said that, and he was later asked to qualify it by Marianne Boring had asked him, and she said, exactly how many have you looked at? He said, only the ones brought to me for enforcement.
Right. So there were a lot of conversations that happened in with the SEC and at the SEC and around the SEC that softened that position significantly. And I think that there is a relatively stable consensus now that a token can be sold in its pre-utility state. An agreement for those tokens can be sold as a security, and that when they're actually distributed and the utility exists, they're not going to be tagged as securities. And that has opened the door for projects that really are going to add unique, interesting value to an ecosystem that's really yearning for it. And so,
right, what he really means is that opened the door to Ethereum. Ethereum gets a free pass, and Ethereum has a token factory. So that, yeah, there can be new tokens issued that won't be called securities, but only on Ethereum. That's what was designed here, folks. Now, I want to show you all link to one of my sponsors, linqto.com. They are now fully subscribed on Ripple. They kept adding it on there, but everybody out there kept scooping it up. They had a new issue of TradeShift that fully subscribed. They're fully subscribed on Link2. The only thing left in blockchain on here, there's a little bit of uphold left and a little bit of cracking. Just wanted to make you aware. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. They're out of Ripple equity right now, but I don't know if they're adding more or not. You'll have to just keep checking back.